Hello, this is Simple SolidWorks. I am here today to try to teach you guys how to do a simple extrusion, one that you pretty much are seeing on the screen right now. I try to do simple things because I believe that sometimes it's just better just to go and do the simple extrusions or simple revolves, and you on your own can pretty much figure out the rest of it. SolidWorks is an extensive software, and for me to break down every single little thing, it will probably take me several YouTube lifetimes, and I don't quite have that, and neither do you. So, with no further interruptions, um, let me get started. So this is the part that I'm going to end up with. You're going to end up with. So the first thing you want to do is go to File, New, and you notice that you're going to have three options to select from. If you're new to SolidWorks and you're going to create a part, it's pretty much simple. The word part is included into the what are you going to make. So you want to sort of click on this particular icon there and hit OK. Now this is going to start the program itself, and you're going to notice that it's got several planes that are not shown, because once you start the process of designing, you're going to end up picking which plane you want to sort of start your design from. So when we're going to talk about extrude, I'm going to hit extrude boss. Now you notice that your planes have been activated. So at this point right here, you select where you want to start your sketch from. So let's do a front plane. And you notice now that you are in a sketch mode. So the program pretty much does a lot of the thinking for you. It puts you onto the right tab in which you will be working from. Sometimes people get confused and they might hit this tab over here and then they're like, what am I doing? Just if that ever happens, just go back to the sketch tab and you're back to that mode again. So you can switch these tabs around. So now we're going to pick the simple line command, or lined. For those who use SolidWorks or AutoCAD before, they know what the line command is. And you notice that it sort of floats around, and you have to pick a point where you want to end up at. Here, you can say, well, I'm just going to sort of put it somewhere around there. I know it's about this size. The reason you know that is because you probably have a sketch already either given to you by an engineer, and you know how much that part's going to be, and you have an estimate. I like to always keep it almost to the size that I want to end up with, because you don't want to over make it too small, and then you start dimensioning it, and then all of a sudden your drawing goes all over the place. So you try to keep it within that sketch that whatever person provides for you. And you can always zoom out and zoom in by scrolling the middle of the mouse. You can just scroll up on your scroller there, and it makes it go back and forth, sort of like that. You can then pick this other spot somewhere around here and create another line sort of around here. Now, SolidWorks has a series of constraints, what they call constraints. And you can tell if your drawings has constraints by looking at the little green icons that you see here. Those call it constraints. Currently, this is constraint to 0, 0 on the X and Y, right? So it's constrained to that. That's what that indicator there means. It's coincident to the origin. That's what, if you can see that right there. Here, there's another constraint, and that's a vertical line constraint. And here's another constraint, and that's a horizontal constraint. These are good to have, especially if you're working with the part that you saw at the beginning of the video, where it sort of has its nice sharp edges. Now here, it doesn't have any constraints. If you notice, there's no green icons. The reason that is because the drawing hasn't been defined. This is what when you have somebody working, if you started new in SolidWorks, you're going to hear that a lot. Is your drawing constraint? Is it constraint? Is it constraint? You're going to know that. You're going to hear that word. You're going to get sick of it. But it's good to at least understand what the heck they're talking about. So now we're going to give it 2 dimensions. I like to start with smart dimensions. It's smart dimensions because you can pick whatever line you want and it sort of put some intelligence behind it and tell you, okay, this is what you can punch in there, right? So again, let me do that real slowly on this one. Here, you pick on there, and it's going to give you a parameter. Now this, you can either use this little scroll thing at the bottom by holding it and just moving it around, or you can just punch in the numbers that you're going to need. So you can say 4.25 in my case. Oops, sorry. There. So now you can always hit the checkbox. Now you see how that automatically grows for you. You know, Solidworks has that intelligence that you can do that. It does follow through on what you need. You can then pick these two. If you notice, it is a smart dimension, and it actually puts the dimension number for you, and it picks it, and it knows it is an angle. So that's what makes it really intuitive. It's the fact that it has that option. You pick the dimension, and it goes, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna I know it's an angle, so I'm gonna put an angle in there. Now here, when you see that this line and this line, in my particular design, these 2 lines were supposed to be the same angle. Instead of putting another angle dimension there, you hold the shift button and you pick both lines, and now you're going to have this blue box, this box that comes out here. And you can say, well, you know what, I want them to be parallel to each other, and it automatically will take this number and place it on this number. So if you change this dimension here, let's say to 45, both lines automatically adjust. That's the good thing about trying to put some intelligence into your design. You don't have to do things repetitively. You want to keep things sort of as simple as possible. I then like to draw a line from here to there. You can now trim this line. You're starting to see that the sketch is slowly starting to take shape. You can take a circle. You see that little orange dot that shows up right there? That one, it means center or mid of that line. You take that out, you take it to the outside. See how it turns orange there as well? That means that it's made, the tangent of that circle is now at the end of that point. You can then trim this again and trim it one more. It's going to yell at you because it sort of has that constraint to it, but that's okay. So now you can then, you see how it's still blue here. Well, that's not a good thing. You don't want to have anything floating around. So you need to sort of give it a nice another dimension. So you can click on this, the end of this to the end of the center of the circle. That you can say would be 3 point, in my case 3.625. Now if you notice, it did put the center of the circle at that distance that I needed, but yet it took away the smoothness of it, because again, SolidWorks likes to work with constraints. So if you click on that, if you hold the shift button and you click on it and you click on this guy while you're holding the shift button, it's going to give you another set of parameters of, and then you can say, you know what, I want it to be tangent. And again, you can do that same thing over here. Grab this, grab that, and say, you know what, I want it to be tangent again. So now you start to see that the drawing has been completely locked in. That drawing now will not move for any reason. And this is when you work in SolidWorks, this is being a fully constraint drawing. That is a term that they use, and you'll see that a lot when you're working in SolidWorks. So once you completed your drawing and everything has been fully constrained, you can confirm the drawing by clicking on this icon up here. That's gonna confirm and close that portion out. Now you jump into what type of feature we're going to do. It's going to be a boss extrude. It's going to be using the sketch plane that you created. It's going to be a blind. Now this here has several options. You can go up a vertex, up to a surface, offset to a surface, and all these all these options here are good, except for our case, we're just going to do a blind, simple blind. We're going to take it up to 1, and we're going to confirm that by clicking on the icon up here. And now you have your first SolidWorks part. I hope this video helps those who are struggling with SolidWorks, and we'll have another part to show you how to do some more fun stuff with it. Thank you.